When we think about vacations, most of us prefer taking a few days out of our hectic schedule to spend at a lavish resort by the beach. Even then, there are some thrill seekers out there that look for the exact opposite, a trip that will take them to the edge of exhilaration. If you're one of them, then this video is just the right one for you. Let's take a look at some of the most extreme tourist attractions in the world that you can conquer and hopefully live to tell tales of. Number 1. New Smyrna Beach, Florida, USA. Even though this might seem like a dream destination for beach lovers, New Smyrna Beach in Florida is dubbed as the shark capital of the world. The area is known for young bull sharks, which have resulted in 250 shark attacks over the years, thus making the beach renowned by having a recorded history with the highest shark attacks per square mile in the world. It is said that young bull sharks do not have the maturity to make out the differences between humans and their usual prey. Hence the area is predominated with shark attacks, even though generally it is extremely rare. It is comforting to know though that none of these attacks resulted in death. Maybe that's what just gives so many tourists the cold comfort to visit this place annually, alongside the budget-friendly aspect of course. If you still have the guts to visit, think twice before you end up splashing around in the waters, and make sure to maintain guidelines of the lifeguards with the utmost caution. Number 2. Death Road, Bolivia. This road, wide enough for a single vehicle, connects La Paz to Concreo, which is the only such route until 2006, when a large 2-lane paved road was built. Before that, approximately 300 drivers died here until 1994, thus giving it its infamous name, Death Road. The road can get perilous during rainfalls by getting extremely muddy, making it hard for drivers to keep balance in such a narrow and risky road. Plus, there is always the added risk of a landslide. Furthermore, dogs and bad weather make it hard for people to safely navigate their way through the cliffs that can fall up to 2,000 feet at every turn. One wrong move and you can meet your doom. For the longest time, it was used by merchants to sell crops and wood in town, until the government built a new road near the mountain. Nowadays, despite the danger, it has become a hotspot for avid mountain bikers. Nearly 18 cyclists have lost their lives here, but the scenic view and the exhilarating factors attached to the road still bring in mountain bikers every year. Even if you're an expert at the sport, it's still highly advised seek your thrill elsewhere where it's much safer. Number 3. The Cliffs of Moher, Ireland. These magnificent cliffs stand at nearly 400 feet that cast over luxurious green fields in the rough waters of the Atlantic Ocean, attracting numerous tourists every year. The views might be extremely gorgeous, but the number of deaths that took place here say otherwise regarding the safety of it. The total number of deaths is unknown, but there have been various reports of people falling to their death caused by powerful wind, bad weather, and rain causing the terrain to be slippery, making it hard for people to balance their footing on an already uneven ground. Adding to that, there is a lack of safety rail. Many photographers push their limits and fall to their ends. These cliffs featured in public favourite movies such as Harry Potter are also a spot where numerous suicides have taken place each year. Fortunately, the attraction is closed several times a year when the wind is on to protect the safety of travellers. Number 4. Mount Blanc, France. Mount Blanc, also known as the White Mountains, rise almost 16,000 feet above sea level, making it the tallest peak in Europe. It is part of the breathtaking Alps mountain range and also bears the record for having a shocking number of deaths, even up to 100 per year. Even though almost 30,000 travellers visit this destination per year, the percentage to that ratio is actually quite small. Even then, the beautiful mountains are quite a risky climb, with lethal threats such as avalanches and unpredictable weather. It's also commonly mistaken for quite unattainable, and many inexperienced climbers believe it does not require a high level of physical fitness or preparation, which is another contributing factor to the staggering death tolls. Number 5. El Camino del Rey, Spain. Also known as the most dangerous path in the world, the cliff located in Spain is pinned to the side of a cliff, standing 300 feet in height and overlooking a rocky gorge. The path is filled with dramatic as well as risky rock formations and very narrow walkways. Most of the metal support beam bridges were rusted with gaping holes in the concrete, which led to around 5 deaths until 2000, when it was closed to the tourists and was remained unused for 14 years due to the risks associated with it. It was reopened in 2015 after renovations were done and more safety features were added, and tourists are now required to wear hard hats during the 5-mile walk. Even then, the path is quite dangerous and not for the faint of hearted, especially ones who suffer from vertigo. The 3-foot wide starts at Count of Galdari Reservoir in the town of Eldras in Spain's Azure province and ends in El Caro Dam and takes up to 4 to 5 hours to complete this stomach-churning walk. Number 6. Mount Everest. An aspiration for any climbing fanatic, Mount Everest sits on the border of Tibet and Nepal in its full glory, and its mesmerizing beauty is unparalleled. It grabs the title of being the world's highest mountain at 29,029 feet, which makes it a stubborn challenge for experienced climbers all over the globe to tackle on. It's the most lethal climb in the world, with a fatality rate of 6.5% of climbers who attempt to pursue it. Until now, amongst the 4,500 that attempted the summit, 300 people have died. Seeing a horde of mountaineers queuing in a long line is a very familiar sight on the mountain, which can be quite dangerous in an extreme climate. There has been a recorded climber dying due to exhaustion after having to stand in a queue for nearly 12 hours. Not to mention snowslides, cracking ice floes, and dangerous crevasses are also some of the factors that contribute to the death toll. The most important factor, however, is the extreme altitude sickness, to the point that after 80,000 meters onwards, it's referred to as the death zone. The insufficient oxygen can even disorient the most experienced climbers, to the point that many breathe their last breath at this point. Furthermore, dead bodies are dangerous as well and very difficult to retrieve, hence they are left littering around the mountains. It's not uncommon for the climbers to come across the dead bodies or skeletons of their fellow comrades, which makes it a very chilling to even think about. Number 7. The Running of the Bulls, Spain. Every year, tourists from all over the world come to participate or simply observe and enjoy the famous week-long Running of the Bulls Festival in Paloma, a town located in the north of Spain. This reckless festival is a centuries-old tradition originating when the bulls were transported from the fields to the city back in the day, and many youngsters went to show off their macho-ness. It rose to fame worldwide in 1926 when it was featured in Hemingway's novel, and nowadays it's an extreme sport where people participate to show off their bravery, as well as for the extreme adventure junkies to speak about the thrill they received as though being chased by bulls. Most of the runners include youthful men in their 20s and very few females. The chance for getting gored by a bull is pretty low, however. Despite the statistical figures, there's a big unpredictability in how the bulls will behave. As the bulls are running, they tend to stay tight in a pack, but if they end up getting separated, they can be extremely dangerous. It is also said that workers use electric prods to work the bull into a frenzy before they are released, which is not only cruel to the animals, but also very dangerous to the runners. Being hit may result in fatal injuries and even death. There is no way for avoiding collision with a bull. It is impossible to be aware of what catches the bull's attention. Many can get injured among the pile of runners as well. Until now, there have only been 16 deaths in this annual festival, but runners who come out unscathed have to say one thing about it: run with the bulls and you will learn more about yourself in 5 minutes than you would have ever imagined. Number 8. Half Dome Yosemite National Park. One of the most dangerous hikes in the world is very challenging even for all the experienced hikers out there. It requires a full day and quite a dangerous venture to reach its peak. The final climb to the top is the most hazardous, as you must rely on metal cables to reach the top. It is quite insane to think that anyone with a permit is allowed to do this climb, as a loss any grip may lead to one's doom. The panoramic view is so spectacular and the mountainside is so steep, it's not uncommon for people to become disorientated and wobble. Rattlesnakes also hide in the nooks and crannies of the rocks, which also something to watch out for. Many have met their fate falling from the death slabs that are practically treacherous during bad weather. As for now, over 60 people have died on the Half Dome, upholding the title of being the most dangerous hikes in the world. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. While you're here, go ahead and click one of the other 2 videos on your screen. See you there.